So this is the part that I'm going to connect to the fuel tank, the new hose anyway. I'm going to get this one off by taking off the two clips. I don't know why there's two there. Maybe that will be revealed once I take it off, or maybe it's just for I don't know. Let's get this off anyway and see. There we go. So I have my new fuel hose, which is E10 compliant, and it's a 1/4 inch, so, and some new stainless steel clips. And it really is a case of undo the old one, cut to size and put the new one in. I'll try and show best I can with the access. I'll maybe point out what I'm going to take out first, but I'm going to start with the front because the fuel tank is out at the moment and I'm going to have to respray that, so that can't go back in just now. So if I can get everything from the front back replaced with the rubber hose, then it means that when the fuel tank's ready, that's the only bit that's left to go back on. Okay, with the battery disconnected, the first one I'm going to undo is the hose here that goes from the fuel pump to the hard line here. And that's probably the hardest one to access, but it's not too bad compared to the newer injection minis. So yeah, there's no access for me to film here, so I'll go and take this off, pull this off, and I'll jump back in when I've got this off. Okay, that's the first fuel hose off. You can see that it's just a short one. It was actually the access wasn't great, so it just took a bit of getting in, but yeah. I'll basically replace this as I go. So once I take one off, I'll put a new one on and just work my way all the way along. So I shall go and get the new hose cut to length. So I got the side on the hard fuel line. The side on the fuel pump was giving me a bit of problem just with the access, so I'm going to come back to that because it may be easier if I remove the radiator because I'm flushing the cooling system anyway. So I could struggle on and get there eventually with skint knuckles, but because this is to come out anyway, it would make sense. So I'm going to move on to the next bit, which is the other side of the fuel pump, down under there. You can see there, I don't know how well you can see, there's a rubber hose, probably about 10 millimeters onto a hard line. That then comes up to here, onto this part here, onto the carb. So yeah, I'm going to get that undone, pull the rubber hose off, get this undone, and this will all come out, and then I can basically make this section up off the car, so it'll be easier to put back on. So apologies, couldn't film that, but you can see down there now that the hose is off. That's just connected on here. So I'll get this one off. So there we go. I'll be keeping this hard pipe, but I'll be replacing this and replacing this, which I'll go and do off camera just now. I've got this bottom bit fitted to the fuel pump. Just leaves the top part here. Now I'm fitting this just now. I do plan to modify this at a later stage just to put a fuel filter in, but at the moment I just want to get everything sorted and running. with the radiator out for the future job I'm doing, like you see on the videos, I managed to get a lot better access to that fuel pipe there. So that's now fitted. Even with the radiator out, it was still tight, and I've got cut knuckles, arms, the lot. So yeah, that's that secured. So basically I've got the fresh rubber all in the engine bay. I just now need to refit the fuel tank at the rear and one new fuel system. There we go, simple as that. So you'll also notice I have given the full fuel tank a coat of paint, and the only bit I've got left to do on this now is to fit the hose that goes through the boot, and it'll be easier fitting it onto here and feeding it through than it will from the other side. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do next. I don't think this was the right fuel hose that was on it. It's quite big for the tub, which is probably why it wouldn't, when I took it off it basically came off. When you see what it should be, yeah, it's not great, so at least I've got the right one to go back on. There we go. That means this side is done. After a few days and a few coats of red oxide primer and paint, I wasn't sure about the paint because I didn't know the paint code the car had been painted in, so I went with Old English White WT3, and that's the colour. It's a great match. I've done enough here to get the fuel tank back in for this area. This area still needs a bit of prep. The paint has reacted with something underneath, so I'll probably have to take that right back to bare metal. And there's a few bits that just need another coat, so I don't want to do that today because I'm going to be working on getting the fuel tank back in. But in terms of getting this looking better, I'm on my way. And I don't want a show car, I want a decent car I can enjoy. So I don't want this pristine that you can eat your dinner off. I just want it looking nice and looking like a 45-year-old car at the same time. So it's finding that balance in between. So, tank back in. I now need to get underneath the car and connect the line that goes from here. I'm just going to check there's no kinks. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, line under there, I'll get connected to the hard line underneath. So, the fuel system is done. I just need to put some fuel in, start it up, get the fuel coming back through and check for leaks, which I will do. I will, not at this stage, get a fuel filter put in here. I need to amend the pipe and I can't find my pipe cut at the moment, that's why that's not been done. So yeah, that'll be fairly straightforward and it'll be part of the service items when I get to that stage. So, I'll call that a day for the fuel system. Relatively cheap, and it'll give the car many years, and more importantly it'll be safe from fires, from the fuel system anyway at this stage. So thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers!